and lots of exciting news out of Barcelona. Well, maybe not the first one, but the first one is that it seems that the club only have 13 players that are currently registered with La Liga. Now, Arda Guler seems like he's very close to joining Barcelona. And then there is new interest in the Barcelona midfielder, Nico Gonzalez. Lots of news to cover since I didn't make a video yesterday. So let's dive right in. Welcome, everybody. My name is Mo. As I mentioned before, I'm currently out of town visiting family. So this is why I'm bringing you this live stream. It's going to be a short live stream. No discussions, no talking to, no checking out the comment section. It's just going to be straight to the news. I will be back home tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll be back to the regular schedules with your regular videos that are edited, not this terrible short live streams. So please bear with me. As always, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And if you do need any merchandise, make sure you hit the kickback. But let's start with the news. Starting out, it seems that Barcelona only have 13 players who are currently registered with La Liga. That's, of course, is a little bit problematic. It just shows how much financial fair play rule restrictions are kind of affecting Barcelona. But nonetheless, despite only having 13 players registered with La Liga, the club are not too worried. They're transmitting calmness. They're saying that with the viability plan, with the exits that they have planned, with the bond that Jean Laporta and some members of the board of directors have put from their own pocket, which is around 6 million euros, they expect to register all the players that they're planning to register. So no worries. Yes, there are only 13 players registered at the moment, but Barcelona are sure and confident that they will be able to register everyone else. Now, speaking of registrations of players coming to the club, let's talk about Arda Guler, because today the Turkish media are reporting that Arda Guler, his family, his entourage could be making a decision in regards to his future as soon as today, maybe tomorrow at the latest, but we should expect a decision pretty soon from the Turkish Messi, and the Turkish media are pointing to the fact that it seems that Arda Guler might have already made up his mind to come to Barcelona. Now, Arda Guler, I've talked about him a lot. Incredible kid, amazing ball handling, dribbling, amazing vision. There's a reason why he's been dubbed the Turkish Leo Messi. Everybody in Europe are after him. Real Madrid, Milan, you name it, they all want him. But it seems that the Barcelona offer is the one that the most attractive to the player and his entourage. His family are very happy with all the efforts that Barcelona have been doing, because Deco has flown to Turkey several times. He's been in constant contact with them, meeting with them over and over again. So Deco has done a good job making Arda Guler and his family feel like he's wanted at the club, that he's an important player, that Barcelona are really counting on him as part of this reconstruction project. So it seems that the player is very happy with the Barcelona offer, and Turkish media are reporting that it's the favorite offer for the player. So and that Arda Guler will be making a decision pretty soon, and it's looking very much in favor of Barcelona. So it looks like Arda Guler could become a Barcelona player, or could announce that he's going to become a Barcelona player either today or maybe tomorrow at the latest. Now, the offer that Barcelona have made to him, I talked about this in Saturday's video, which is that he would stay at Fenerbahce for one more season so he can continue growing and developing, and then Barcelona would bring him on next summer. Barcelona want to guarantee him 20 matches in a season, because as I reported before, Arda Guler was kind of worried about coming to a club like Barcelona or Real Madrid, where he wasn't going to be getting too much playing time because there's a lot of competition. But in order to calm kind of those concerns, Barcelona are willing to guarantee him at least 20 matches per season. And again, Barcelona's offer seems to be the most attractive to the player. So we could expect an official decision by the player and his entourage as soon as today or tomorrow, announcing that he will become a Barcelona player. Now, speaking of arrivals, let's talk about the pivot position. Oriol Romeu, he's still Xavi's option to replace Sergio Busquets in the pivot position. Apparently, Xavi had already wanted to sign him before, when he was at the Qatari team, Al Saad, back when Xavi was a coach in the Middle East. He had actually wanted to sign Oriol Romeu. It seems that Xavi really likes him. He thinks he's a good solution for the pivot position. However, it seems that Girona are upset about Barcelona's interest in him. And the reason why Girona are upset, they're another team that's on the outskirts of Barcelona in Catalonia. And it seems that in the most recent dinner between Joan Laporta, Barcelona's board of directors, and Girona's board of directors as well. They had a dinner together, and Joan Laporta had promised to help out Girona as much as possible. Girona is a much smaller club, but nonetheless, there's really good relationship between them and Barcelona, being two Catalan clubs. And it seems that Girona are upset that Barcelona are after their player. They feel kind of a little bit betrayed. So based on that, it seems that Girona are not willing to negotiate with Barcelona, kind of like a reduced price. And their position now is that if Barcelona want to sign Oriol Romeu, they have to pay the release clause, which is around 8 million euros. Now, Barcelona had considered including a player in some kind of swap deal, but again, because Girona do feel upset or betrayed a little bit about Barcelona's interest, they're not going to accept any swap deals. They're not going to accept any negotiations. The only way for Barcelona is to sign Oriol Romeu, is to pay the release clause worth around 8 million euros, which is, of course, regardless, it still makes this operation a very affordable one for Barcelona. And Xavi does want Oriol Romeu on the team, so Barcelona will be working on this signing these upcoming few days, maybe upcoming few weeks. Now, I know a lot of people say that Oriol Romeu is average, that he's not good enough. I think, my personal opinion, I think he's gonna shut a lot of people up. I think Oriol Romeu is an underrated player. I'm not saying he's a great player. He's not Busquets, he's not Kimmich, but I think he is a good player that will be able to do his job in the pivot position. After all, he did come up through La Masia. He knows exactly what a Barcelona pivot should be doing. Now, more positions. Let's talk about the right back position. I get this question a lot. What is Barcelona going to do? Are they going to reinforce it? Are they going to sign anyone? Again, given the club's financial situation, they're very limited on how many players they could sign. But nonetheless, the club do have plans for that position. There's Julián Araujo. He's an option, of course, but Xavi wants to see him in the preseason first. He wants to see whether Julián Araujo has the level to play in that right back position. So far, it's not looking good. He's not a definitive starter with the U.S. team. I've been watching him play with the U.S. team. Right now, there's the Gold Cup going on in North America, which is kind of like the Euro Cup, but for North America and Central America. He's not quite impressing me, but nonetheless, Xavi does want to see him during the preseason, see if he's good enough for that position or not. If not, Barcelona are considering loaning him as well. Now, there is Feyenoord from the Dutch League. They just won the Dutch League. They're very interested in reinforcing the right back position, and it seems that they are interested in Julián Araujo. So if Julián Araujo does not work out in the summer, he will be sent on loan to Feyenoord so he can play at least a full season in European football. Remember, this guy has never played European football. He came from the MLS during the winter transfer market. He wasn't able to play at all because he wasn't registered. So Barcelona are heavily considering sending him on loan so he can have a full season, play in European football, and maybe this could help him adapt, get better, and then maybe he can come back to Barcelona and be that right back for the club. Now, Cancelo. I get a lot of questions about Cancelo. The club are not ruling him out yet. He's still a possibility for Barcelona. However, the only way he could come is he would need to reduce his salary drastically. Now, Manchester City would prefer to offload Cancelo permanently. That's not going to happen with Barcelona. He's worth 70 million euros. Barcelona not looking to pay 70 million euros for Cancelo. So the only way for Barcelona to get Cancelo would be through on loan. And the player would really have to reduce his salary. Now, Cancelo seems like he does want to come to Barcelona. Manchester City are still in favor of selling him, but they could eventually acquiesce and decide to loan him out because Manchester City are having a hard time finding a suitor or a buyer for Cancelo because there aren't many clubs out there willing to pay those 70 million euros. So Manchester City could eventually cave and say, okay, we're willing to loan him. The player wants to come to Barcelona, but again, the only way for Barcelona to bring Cancelo would be if Cancelo reduces his salary drastically because right now his salary is very high and Barcelona cannot afford it. Finally, if Barcelona cannot bring anyone, if they can't bring Cancelo, if Julián Araujo doesn't work out, if Fresneda, who is awaiting Barcelona's response, whether they're going to be able to make an offer or not, if none of them can come to the club, none of them can work out, Xavi has been in talks with Jules Koundé, and he has been able to convince the French defender to play another season in the right back position. That's not the main priority right now. Barcelona are still looking to either bring Fresneda or have Julian Araujo play in there, maybe Cancelo. But if none of them work out, Koundé has agreed to play another season as a right back. So either way, that position is covered. We're just going to have to see who will end up covering it. Now, one more player who will be coming to Barcelona for sure. That's Vitor Roque. And it looks like he's very, very, very close to becoming a Barcelona player. The club are reporting that almost everything is agreed to between them and Atlético Paranaense. Of course, the agreement between them and the player is done. There's no negotiations between Barcelona and Vitor Roque. Everything's done. Everything is agreed to. The only thing that's been finalized is the agreement between Barcelona and Atlético Paranaense. And it seems that there's only one document left. That's it for the clubs to complete. And then Vitor Roque will become officially a Barcelona player. Now, with these deals, it's very common when you have a player coming from South America to Europe. There's a lot of paperwork involved. So this is not out of the norm. It's very normal. But the club are reporting that there's only like one more document that they need to finalize. And after that, Vitor Roque will become a Barcelona player. Now, we do know a little bit more details about the contract that he's agreed to. Of course, I had already told you that Vitor Roque will be signing until 2029. He will have around a 30 million euro salary, which is the lowest bracket in the pay scale at Barcelona. He will have a 1 billion euro release clause. And now we know the bonuses that have been included in this contract. Now, this contract will be worth 35 million euros fixed, plus 10 million euros in variables. Of course, those 10 million variables, what it means that certain things would have to be met before the club agreed to pay that money. And we know two of the variables. The first one is if Vitor Roque wins the Ballon d'Or, and the second one is if he ends up as one of the finalists. Of course, the bonus would be a much smaller if Vitor Roque ends up amongst the finalists versus if he wins the Ballon d'Or, the variable would be a lot bigger. But why is this important? Because this shows the confidence of Atlético Paranaense and the confidence of Barcelona that Vitor Roque one day could be either a Ballon d'Or winner or a finalist. And that just goes to show how much potential this guy has. In fact, he scored again yesterday. I think he scored 6 goals in the last 5 matches. I mean, this guy is absolutely on fire, scoring goals left and right. And again, one document away separates Vitor Roque from becoming a Barcelona player. Now, as I mentioned before, Barcelona, he could either come during this summer or he could come during a winter break. Barcelona really want him right now. Xavi wants Vitor Roque to be incorporated this summer. He wants him on the preseason tour in North America. So Barcelona are really working on bringing Vitor Roque this summer. But if the club cannot offload enough players, then Vitor Roque will have to wait until the winter transfer market. But either way, Vitor Roque is coming. There's no such thing as maybe he comes now, maybe he comes winter, maybe he doesn't come at all. No. He either comes now or comes in the winter. But either way, Vitor Roque is coming, which is very, very, very exciting. Now, as I always say, and I probably sound like a broken record, in order to sign players, we need to offload ones. So let's talk about the exits. Let's start with Ferran Torres, because there's been a lot of rumors. Oh, Barcelona want to keep him. Xavi prefers him over Ansu. All that is crap. Barcelona have only one plan and one plan only for Ferran Torres, and that is for him to leave. So Barcelona, the board of directors, have talked to Matteo Alemany and have asked him to accelerate the exit of Ferran Torres. You know, the market just opened on July 1st, and the club really want to start sealing their exits, and have asked Matteo Alemany to work hard on getting Nico out of the club, either on a permanent transfer or on a loan. Now, it seems there are many Premier League clubs who are interested in taking Ferran Torres on a loan, so he might end up leaving on the loan, not on a permanent transfer. But that's okay, because by leaving on loan, he will be freeing up his salary, which Barcelona can give to a different player. One more exit, and that's Nico Gonzalez. You know, Nico Gonzalez just finished his loan with Valencia. Xavi does not count on him. He believes that Nico's not really a pivot, which is what Barcelona need. He thinks that Nico's more of a center mid interior, if you may. And when it comes to that position, there are other players on the team that are much better than Nico. You know, Pedri, Gavi, Gundogan, Frankie. They're all much more skilled than Nico. So Xavi does not count on Nico. And therefore, Barcelona are looking to offload him. Of course, Valencia want to extend the loan by one more season. There's talks about Betis, Real Betis, who are very, very interested in Nico. They've actually negotiated with the player a loan deal, but Barcelona has not approved it because Barcelona would rather offload him rather than loan him out. They don't want to have to deal with him again next summer. And now a new club has declared interest in Nico, and that club is Porto from the Portuguese league. It seems that Porto are very interested in Nico, either on loan or a permanent transfer. We'll have to see what happens, but it looks like Nico could be exiting the club pretty soon. So that's all the news I have for you today. Sorry I didn't make a video yesterday. Again, I'm out of town visiting family. I'm on holiday. I'm away from all my equipment, so I'm bringing you this live stream through my cell phone. There won't be a live stream tonight at 7:15 p.m. This kind of replaces it. But tomorrow I will be back home. I'll be back to my regular schedule, and I will be back making you your regular videos, edited videos with pictures and everything the way you like it, instead of this crappy live stream through my cell phone. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you tomorrow. And as always, Visca Barça.